Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Paris and I'm the self-published author of this book right here, The Magi. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys kind of a step-by-step guide of the full process of publishing. Basically, like making your publishing plan like a pro. We're going to be going through, if you are finishing up betas, here's what you need to be doing next. If you're working on editing, here's what you need to do next. If you're working on your first draft, here's what you're going to do next. It's not going to be full steps within the steps. It's just going to be, here is what you need to learn about next. You know, okay, you're ready to start formatting. Here is where I would point you to go, or what do you do while you're waiting for betas to give you feedback, etc. I'm going to be giving you kind of just these like highlighted points of the publishing journey. And then in other videos, if you are interested, I can go further into steps. Okay, here's what I would do for formatting. Here's what I would do specifically for book cover, etc. So let's jump right into it. The first step of writing a novel is writing the novel. That could mean outlining if you are a plotter. It could mean just coming up with some ideas, character building, etc. You're doing all of this kind of prep first, and then you write the novel. Don't worry about your first draft being perfect. Your first draft is not going to be perfect. It's called a rough draft for a reason. Step number one, simply make your plan and write your novel. Once you get that done, and that is such a big hurdle, first of all, when you finish that novel, that is such a huge step. It's like, it's simultaneously the bulk of the work, but also in some circumstances, the easy part. And the reason why I say it's the easy part is, for me personally, writing comes easier than editing. Writing comes easier than, formatting, things like that. So, you get the biggest part done, and then you're simultaneously like, wait a second, maybe I like having this big chunk of work to do, because I got all these little things next. But don't worry, I'm going to give you guys the walkthrough of all of these little steps. And let's be real, these little steps compared to writing the actual novel, they might be hard, they might be tricky, they might be time consuming. The novel, if you can write a novel, you can publish your book. I promise. Step number two is kind of this almost, I'm going to say hidden step, because some people might not do this step. And I'm talking about if you're going into alphas or betas and then prepping for it. It's kind of all this mash together for the second step in publishing a novel. And the reason why I say it like that is, alphas come first, they get this rougher version. So if you are sending it to alphas, you might send your alphas draft one. You might decide to just send them that rough version and just get the overall feedback on the gist of, the rough idea. Or you might decide before you send it to alphas that you're gonna, freshen it up a bit. If you're not doing alphas, I know for me personally, my alphas, I only have like one, and it's really just me getting ideas from one of my really close friends and overall feedback. So she gets a really rough version of the book. I really just quickly read through, make sure it actually kind of makes sense, and I send it off to her. Some people don't do alphas at all. If you're not doing alphas, then you're kind of going on to what I'm calling step number 3, which is betas. And before you go to step number 3, that is when you're going to want to go through. You're going to want to go through, draft 2, 3, 4, however many drafts it is. Might only be one. You might send them draft 2. Whatever the case, really this mash of step kind of 2 and 3 is just the alpha, beta, whatever step you're going on to, just making it readable for them. Not actually sending it to them. This is just making it readable for them. Step number 3, we're ready to send it on to betas. And now, for betas, what you're going to want to do, as I said in the last little clip, is you're going to want to make it readable for them. Then you pop them in a doc or a few different documents all together, whatever it is, get them in, give them a timeline, give them instructions, and then you kind of wait. You wait for the feedback to come in. So for me, I go on to step number 4 while it's with my betas. Step number 3 is actually sending it out to betas. It's the whole beta reading process. But what do you do when you're waiting for them? Because betas often get about, I'm gonna say 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. It really depends on the length of the book, how fast of a reader your betas are, how much free time they have, the time of year, so on and so forth. Step number 2 is getting it out to betas, and then you're kind of just waiting. So what next? Not step number 2, that was step number 3, my bad. Step number 4 is more behind the scenes stuff, because it really depends on who is doing your, editing, your book cover design, your formatting at this stage. Because the reality is, when you get your feedback from the betas, you are going to be doing more self-edits. That's going to be kind of, you get your feedback from the betas in step number 5, and then you're actually making those edits regarding it. You might need to resend it out. You're going to be making edits and changes. So when you're waiting for feedback from betas, you're not going to want to be doing extensive edits, because you're going to be doing those in the next step. But what about formatting and book cover design? Now, the order of events should, in this perfect world be, I think, editing, formatting, cover design. Or you could do formatting, editing, cover design if you were doing it yourself. The reason why I put it that way is I'm personally doing my formatting myself. So when I have the formatted document, this is what I do when I have my betas. When it's with betas, I'm formatting. I have it all formatted. When I do my edits, it's going to, fudge up the formatting a little bit. The book could change. The widow orphan lines could come back that you had already fixed. So I would not necessarily send it out to a professional formatter during the beta reader stage because changes are going to need to be made. Because I'm doing it myself, I can just copy and paste the pages in. I'm knowingly, putting extra work on my plate. Whereas if another professional formatter was doing it at the stage, you might need to go rehire them to put those edits in for you. So this is why it's all behind the scenes. You might instead work on prepping ideas for your cover. If you were doing your cover yourself, you could start working on the front of it. But I'm going to explain in a minute something about the spine. This is why formatting should always come before book cover design. I learned that the hard way. Step number 5, you are getting your feedback from your betas. You are taking it into account and you are doing more self-edits. This step is easy in a way in that you kind of have a guideline from your betas what needs to be done. You might decide to resend it out. You might do some more, complicated stuff. For now, we're just going to say step number 5, getting the feedback, making edits based on the feedback. Once you have all of these self-edits done, this is when we're getting into the rigid boom, boom, boom of editing, formatting, and book cover design. Step number 6, we are sending off to an editor. Now, like I said before, because edits are going to be done, if you have it pre-formatted and you don't have the ability to recopy and paste the updated stuff in yourself, you might want to wait to do any formatting. So at this point, we're going to say step number 6 is editing. So we're finding an editor, we're sending it off to an editor. Maybe if you yourself are an editor, maybe you're going through more rigid edits, where at this point you're not just doing little plot things, you are going through every single line. You're finding any comma splices, you're finding any incorrect quotations, you're finding useless words, dead words, anything that's dragging you down. You are doing the extensive edits. That is going to be, I think we're on step number 6, right? I'm a little bit lost, but let's just go in order, guys. Just go in order. Step number 7, we're doing formatting. And the reason why formatting should come first or at the same time as book cover design is because of your spine. The spine of your novel is going to change regarding the page count. So if you add just, 5 pages, it could move your spine size just enough that it messes up your actual cover design. So before you go to a cover designer, I learned this myself, my book cover designer did an amazing job last time, but for the spine, I had to have it adjusted. I had to have I had some issues because my formatting changed, So this time around, what I'm doing is I'm doing the editing and formatting first. When that is done, when my formatting is finished, I'm going to go into step number 8. We're going to go and get our book cover design. Step number 8 is the actual book cover. You're getting the cover of your novel done. Your front, your back, and your spine. And some places like KDP do have free templates you can use. You can get this template, send it off to your book cover designer, have them fill it out, get it back, pop it into the novel. That is kind of, I want to say, it's the last step, but not. And I'm going to go into some more kind of just almost bonus content of book editing. At this point, you have all of the pieces together. You have it edited, you have it formatted, you have the book cover. I want to quickly touch on a couple different things that you're going to be doing just spread throughout this entire process. Step number 9 is wrapping up and perfecting everything. Throughout this entire process, there are a bunch of other little things you should have been doing, which I'm going to go back and explain right in 1 second. Right now, at this point, once you have your cover back, you're going to be ordering your proofs. You're going to be maybe opening signed copies. You're going to be uploading files to KDP or Ingram or Lulu, wherever it is you are publishing. You're going to be marketing and advertising, which again, that's something you could have been doing the entire time. I'm just going through the bare kind of rigid outline of the publishing process. Other little things you should be working on or you should have done or you're perfecting now is your blurb/synopsis. People call it a couple different things. Basically, this little thing right here that you have on the back that sums up what your novel is about, perfecting that. That is actually another thing that you should edit too. I know I had a couple grammar mistakes in it because I kind of forgot about it. So luckily they were caught and fixed before the book was published, but that was something I had to do at one of those last stages, is make those little adjustments. Other things you can work on, getting your author photo, getting your author bio, Pro tip from that, have somebody else write it. I originally wrote mine. It was so bad. I asked my mom to rewrite it, so shout out to my mom for writing this for me here. Other things to work on. This is part of the formatting stage, but when you are formatting things, you have your copyright page. You need to get all of your information together. What year are you publishing? What's your name? Are you using a pen name? Are you using your actual name? The information for your cover artist, for your editor, so on and so forth. You get that all together. You have your dedication that you need to work on. You need to write that. You need to perfect that. If you're using a pronunciation guide, a glossary, an index, anything that's in the front or back matter is something else you can work on. If you have I have bonus content in the Magi, so I had to be working on that throughout this. Your acknowledgements, you're going to be writing your acknowledgements, thanking everybody that helped you. I know for me, as I wrote not the bare outline, I wrote a big rough version of the acknowledgements, and as more people helped me out, I edited it and I added to it so that I could make sure everybody was accounted for. If you have a coming soon page, that's something else you can work on. Getting all of your contacts together. If you have an author page in the back of your book, it's not required. If you have that in the back of your book, add all of that in too. Basically, the front and back matter is something you can be kind of slowly collecting. I know I have it kind of just sitting around on my computer. I have a rough dedication already for IOF, which is coming out in February. It's November now. I have that kind of just waiting. I have my copyright page kind of already copyrighted for 2023, so on and so forth. It's getting all the behind the scenes, front and back matter done, then wrapping it up. Once you are done with everything, actually, sorry, 1 second. Your ISBN number too is something else you're going to want to be getting. If you were using KDP, you can get a free version from it. You will see right on there, you can hit free ISBN. You could also be buying them. You stick that on the back cover of your book. When all of that is done, you are ready to hit publish. And you have made a publishing plan. You have, gone through the steps. You have published like a pro. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any additional tips you would like to add about publishing, please let me know down below. I've only done it once. I'm going into my second round of publishing now, and I've definitely learned a lot from the Magi. There's a lot of things I'm doing differently, a lot of things I'm doing better, because, Paris of the past was out here not really knowing what she was doing. Paris of the present, I guess is the word, in the future, she also doesn't really know what she's doing, but, she's trying, guys. We have effort going in. We are making things, they're working better. So that is what we're currently working on. I'm constantly learning with publishing. So if you have any publishing tips you'd like to add, definitely let me know. For now, I hope this video helped, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. And for now, have a great rest of your morning, evening, night, whatever time it is. Have a great day.